Oh my heavens. You know what that song means, don't you, boys and girls? And their parents. I know the parents are secretly watching. They say, this show is for kids, but I secretly watch it. And there's discussion groups, and you can sit down. Discussion groups, Bob Doyle Show, you know. You know what I'm talking about, because you probably all do them. So I want to welcome Julianne and the Dog Connection. Hi, Kathy. Let's see, Julianne, Lisbeth, and more. So hold on one second. Let's be reminded.
It's the Bob Doyle Show.
That's right.
It's the Bob Doyle Show. It's the Bob Doyle Show.
I'm doing a very low-tech thing right now.
It's the Bob Doyle Show.
All right. So I'm broadcasting at YouTube and Facebook today. Whoa. No. Okay, well, all of this... Hold on. This is so great. Now, first of all, I'm not sure how to make that go away. Okay, I did it. That right there is a miracle. It's just too funny that we would start this show right out of the gate with a classic Bob Doyle guffaw moment, and that audio is involved, and we'll explain all that with visual aids. I mean, it couldn't have been more perfect. So, but let's go ahead and let's welcome in Kathy and Loretta. These are all the people who are watching over at YouTube, right, where the Bob Doyle Show basically is. But we're also going over here to Facebook, which, for whatever reason, Facebook's not letting me connect so I could show your comments, but I'm looking at them here over low-tech way, and I see that Jennifer's here saying good morning, and now Lisbeth is on Facebook. Lisbeth, don't go to Facebook if you want to see your comment, because I'm already doing this, which is fun. It's good for my neck, maybe. So, boy, have we got a great guest for you today, have we? I can't remember. Who do we book? No, I'm kidding. But before we get to Melanie Moore, everybody, we get to Melanie Moore. Who's doing it? If nobody did it, I am disappointed. I mean, come on, at least one of you. All right, Vicky is here as well. Vicky, last time, I'm not sure I acknowledged you enough that you were in the room, and I want to rectify that right now. Unfortunately, you're not quite. Oh, there she is, right there. Okay, so let's hear it for Vicky. I like to try and acknowledge everybody, but you know. Ooh, did you see that? Hold on, look at that. A secret message. I need to connect with you after the show. Let me know when you're available, Bob. Oh. That's just juicy, right? What could it be? We don't know. Does it have to do with dogs? Hard to say. We'll find out later. And then I'll let you know. Or I won't. It just depends on if it's appropriate or not. I can't make any promises. That's not our slogan. Bob Doyle, well, actually our slogan is Bob Doyle Show, we don't make any promises. All right, that's not really our slogan. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell for notifications so that you'll never miss a moment of whatever this is. So we've still got Julianne here, and Julianne is saying hello to Mel. And I want to welcome each and every person who has come here on good faith because Melanie, our guest, recommended that they do. And I'll apologize that you have to sit through this crap for 10 minutes at least. Now, I'm actually going to wind down the crapometer a little bit. Well, actually, I got to notch it up because I want to tell you a quick story that has nothing to do with anything. I met Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm going to say 1984. He had released, I think it was around the Terminator time, I'm not sure, but he had released some exercise book, had nothing to do with anything, but he was coming to Athens, Georgia to go to the mall to do a book signing. Well, me and my roommate are big Terminator fans, so we're going to go meet Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? So we go down there, we get it, and we stand in line with a lot of other guys that look just like us. Am I right, ladies and gentlemen? Hi, Natty. Over on Facebook, I'm doing this bit. So we wait in the line. I'm coming up to I don't know. I'm 12 away. I'm making that up. I don't know. I'm not there yet. And then I suddenly realize, oh wait, I don't have any money to buy his book. I'm in college. I'm on the meal plan. I don't carry cash. You know what I'm saying? I call my mom and I say, I need $300 more. Don't ask questions. That's way too true a story. All right. So anyway, I get up there and I'm going, I don't have any. What is he going to sign? I have a book. Oh, embarrassing. So I think, now I'm not exactly sure where it came from. The garbage, maybe? I get a paper bag, but I don't get a paper bag. I tear off a piece of a brown paper bag. Now I've got a piece of paper. Ah, clever. So I get up there. He's behind the desk. There's, he's not going, how are you? I don't know how he talks. Everybody else does. I don't do it. But he doesn't really say anything. That's kind of the point of the story. So he signs this thing. Well, signing is being generous. What I get back, and I wish I had it with you. I still have it, but it's in my mom's garage. Plaque in a plaque, and it's not really. It's in a journal somewhere where I pressed it the day I got it or something. Anyway, it's a brown piece of paper, and it's got this little line. It goes up and over the line. So I'm like, no, I'm not using Restream. We're having a technical meeting right in the middle of the show. So I'm kind of like, wow, okay, I stand in this line and, it's Arnold and that's it. Could he not have cared? Wait, could he have cared less? So now I was 18 years old, maybe 19. I'm now 53. It just dawned on me 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I'm going, and I don't know how the Arnold thing came up, but I'm like, but the conversation is always, yeah, he only just drew a line. I'm going, a grown-up finally said, Bob, you handed him a piece of garbage. The end. That's it. There's no more to say. For decades, I've been going, he doesn't care about his fan. He's blah, blah, blah. I give him trash. It could have had a stain of hamburger on it for all I know. So Arnold, if you're watching, and I know that you are, how about this? Arnold, since you're watching, I just want to apologize for years and years of this. I don't know. It was just an immature attitude on my part. And I want to thank you for even taking the time to just draw the line. Because I didn't take the time to save my money to buy your book, which I probably wouldn't have read. But it's not the point. It would be years before fitness entered my life. Boy, if we could do a flash forward and have some weird montage about my whole journey in fitness right now, that way, like I planned it. Oh, one day that's the type of show I want. But I'm just one guy. Anyway, so sorry, Arnold. Now, I'm moving on to something else that isn't talking to Melanie, but it's going to lead perfectly into it. But first, let's check in with who's here on Facebook and on YouTube, so I can exercise my neck. We got Vicky still. Good morning. She feels resified. Let's see. Cripometer, good. Just acknowledgement of the words I said. Xavia's watching, hopefully, still. Xavia, I'm so glad you're here. You're perfect for this. Sarah Jane. Oh, whoa. Stop the presses. Where the press is going? Because if they were, they need to be stopped right now. I still think I hear them. Oh, no, wait, that's the air conditioner. The presses are stopped. Sarah Jane. What? Where have you been? Anyway, it's good that you're here. I love it. Louisa is here from Brussels. Terry is here as well from wherever Terry's come from. Tracy is in the room. And I am trying to make out that emoji. And that will be the rest of my day. Could be an elephant. Could be a gorilla with shoes. I don't know. We'll take your calls. 1 for elephant, 2 for gorilla with shoes. And we'll just put the whole show on pause until we get an answer. All right, no, we won't. We don't have time for that. We've got a guest that I'm eventually going to get to. So here's why I'm going to tell you this. Now, guys, without getting into details, my life right now is like a ride. It's just crazy. The things that are happening in my life, so much has changed in the past year, I can't even describe it. This show and the new format and this shirt, it's just a part of it. There's so much more. But the point is that the reason, exactly what I attribute all the really, truly incredible things that have happened in my life the past year, I attribute it to rereading The Science of Getting Rich. Now, I don't know what you're going to do. Hopefully you're standing up and cheering right now. Yes, tell me more about that. Great. And if you're not saying that, you're going, what is this book? Well, look, I'm giving it to you. I'm giving it to you. And I'm going to tell you in a second, as I continue to say words, and as we talk to Melanie, you're going to realize if I haven't read this book, I need to read it. And if I've read this book, I need to reread it. Because guys, look, here's the facts. I've been teaching this law of attraction stuff for 20 years. 20, a couple of decades. All sorts of ways. And of course, what people want to know is how can I make it work faster? How come this is taking so long? What's this, that, and the other thing? And there's been years and years of techniques and all these other things. And I got in the mix and I was teaching the science and all the stuff, everything, piling on more facts, more information on all this other stuff, right? And what happens? What happens? I'm going to take answers from Katya. Katya, what happens? No, I'm sorry. You're going to find out why you're perfect for being here, Xavier. See, what a hook. See, she can't go away now. She's like, why am I perfect? She has to stay. That's just good broadcasting, folks. All right. This book, Science of Getting Rich, is what inspired The Secret. Okay? So it's like the source material that Rhonda Byrne, the producer and creator of The Secret, was exposed to. She went, aha, and then the rest is freaking history. But the thing is that when I first read the book 20 years ago, it was like I conceptually got it and was like, okay, yeah, I see what they're saying or whatever. I just did not sink in as this is all you need to know, basically. This is all you need to know, which is basically what I'm telling you now and everybody who asks. There's so much out there about the law of attraction and so many different processes and systems and so on that have really just served to overcomplicate it. Are you still with me? If you're still with me, send me a Hershey's Kiss with caramel in it. Doesn't matter how long it takes. I'll just know later. And basically, if people would just read the book and do what the book says without trying to figure it all out or making excuses for not doing what the book says, then they would see dramatic changes in their life. End of story, period. That's it. That's all. The reason people might read the book and say, I've read the book, I've tried it and not gotten results is because you tried it. You tried it for a short amount of time. You didn't take it 100% seriously. What mostly happened, I can almost guarantee you, is that you allowed yourself the luxury of dwelling in negative thinking. This is just how it is. I'm going to rationalize why I feel negatively about this situation because, oh, sure, they wrote this book in 1910 or whatever, but today it's different because and when you do that, whatever process you're trying to do in reading the book and following it has now shattered because now what you're doing is you're creating a whole new energetic event in your future in that moment and you're justifying it. Oh, Bob, what's going on? He's actually talking. So what I'm in, sorry, did not mean to go into the echo chamber. So the book is in public domain. Like, it's not this huge magnanimous deal that I am giving this book. That's, how can you do it? No, you could probably download it anywhere. Here's why you want to get it from me. First of all, come on, look at this face. Now, second of all, there's a foreword written by me to hopefully help you, frame this and take this seriously and commit to studying it and so on. There are links back to a private area where you get more supplemental video, all this stuff. So this is the link, bobdoyleshow.com/rich. It's just freaking free, okay? But what I'm recommending is that you go get it. Because this show is about making the world a happier place, guess where that happens? Guess where happiness happens for you? Right. And you let your happiness be impacted by your experience of reality, right? So learning to truly create your experience of reality using these principles will make you happier if you know what will make you happy, or at least have an idea of what happy feels like, etc. Anyway, that's what this book is about. And if you make a study of it so that your brain is literally rewired, because remember, you got freaking decades of wiring going on that is making you rationalize and justify your negative, all of it. If you're going to change your future, you got to change this, which means repeated study. You have been basically studying life for decades and letting it get in and create your truth for, on autopilot. Now it's about being intentional about it, and it's going to take some time and repetition and so on. So go get it. And The great news is, Kathy says she just got it. See, now that deserves a standing O. Love it when people take action, and I love it when people take action. I love it when people take action. Will you be one of them? Hey, gosh, man, this show is like what? You haven't seen variety like this since, I don't know, Sonny and Cher, and I'm both of them. All right, so are we clear? I'm giving you a gift, and it's so much more than just a PDF that you can download. If you'll do it, do it. Now, why is this perfect? Because my guest today, who most of you already know who it is, because, well, first of all, I did this earlier, which I didn't mean to, which I'm going to do again in a second, because that's what I'm supposed to do. But Melanie Moore. Now, the reason that we're talking to her today is because she's what I would call, and probably others too, a visualization specialist, expert, if you will. A savant. Let's go with that. She's a visualization savant. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I cut it off too soon. All right. Hi, Melanie.
Hello, Bob. How are you?
Let's get these people to sit down. I'm doing great. And you know what's really great about this is because you're hearing me and I'm hearing you. That, number one, a triumph. And number two, there's not some weird echo going forever, right? It's like a whole new age.
Mercury retrograde? What Mercury retrograde?
That's right. It can't touch me. Get off retrograde. You're not welcome here.
Exactly. This is an MR-free zone.
That's right. I like it. So, Melanie, first of all, I don't even hardly know where to begin, but we have to get people caught up who don't know how we even know each other and why you're here today. Are you willing for me to start this story?
Go for it.
Okay. So back in the day, boy, I wish we had some harp sounds or something, but we don't. There was a little broadcasting platform called Periscope. Who remembers it? Great. A few of you. Clapping way too long. So we could all suddenly become personal broadcasters, right? This was before Facebook Live. Can you even imagine such a thing, right? So now all of us are becoming our own, we're doing our shows, we're doing our stuff, we're connecting, and then we're meeting each other because a lot of us early adopters, there weren't as many gazillions as there later were. And so we would run into each other and so on, and you could, I don't know exactly how, what twist of fate. Whether I landed first on Melanie or she landed on, let me rephrase that whole thing. I don't know whether I found one of her broadcasts first or whether she found one of mine or how we even got connected. But we were both on Periscope doing our thing. Do you have a blank to fill in there? I don't remember exactly what happened.
Well, I was following you before Periscope, so I think
That was you.
Yes, I think I gate crashed your broadcast first. And then the whole Blab thing came along, and I think Blab was great because suddenly it wasn't a one-way thing anymore. Are you still there, Bob? Oh, you are still there. Sorry, just checking. It wasn't a one-way thing anymore. Suddenly you could put faces to the user handle. And then I think I thought, I'm going to have a show on Blab. And I interviewed you on my Blab show. And then once I got over the fear that my friends and family were watching me on Facebook Live, I think I interviewed you on my Facebook Live show. Then I launched my actual show, Big Vision TV, and then I had you on again. So I think, it's about time really that you interviewed me on your show.
I can't believe, I was just thinking that I can't believe in all of this time I've never interviewed you. And so this is so great. So let me welcome Robert, who has joined us here, and Bala, who has joined us. I'm looking both places. Anyway, thank you. And Nerdy Rodent. That's the username. I'm not making this stuff up, and I can't change it. Anyway, so Blab. Let's go back to those days because that really was sort of, for those of us who wanted to do shows on social media, the ability to bring in a guest or another face or have discussions. That was pretty groundbreaking. And so when I started the Bob Doyle Show, approximately 1,000 years ago, that was the platform I chose to use so that I could bring in guests and things like that. So, a funny, hilarious is not a word, hilarious story that I think we've talked about before on some interview that I that we did before, but about that first show. And as I mentioned at the top of this show, as everything was breaking audio wise, this is not the first time I've had audio problems. And in fact, on this particular first show, I brought in Melanie as a guest or whatever, just to do it. I mean, there were other people in the room. It was just time to feature a conversation with her or whatever. And of course, then the audio starts glitching. And that's where we're going to start this clip so you can see. But at some point, I have to have, I'm just giving you this context. It's kind of a spoiler alert, but you might miss it. The audio is so bad that I have to figure out how I'm going to do this. So I have to leave my own show and then leave Melanie and someone else in charge.
Why am I hearing the echo? Because I can't hear you if I don't have this up, but I don't know why I'm echoing. There's just no.
It's very dramatic echo.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's
too dramatic.
Yeah.
So I'm going to continue to pretend to figure out what's going on here while they do a show. All right? So you just do your thing.
Okay. Hi, Melanie.
Hi, Rachel. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Good. Yeah. I think our sound's okay, isn't it? It's just Bob that's echoing. Yeah.
Maybe if I leave the room and come back in, I think I can. So I'm going to do that. Okay? You guys just take.
Where do you live, Rachel?
I live in Seattle.
I'm just north of London in a town called St Albans.
I don't know what the words were you just said. Tanquis and Torbans?
It's not Melanie.
Oh.
That's right. So I have no idea, because I didn't finish watching, how we actually resolved that. But that's right. Melanie co-hosted.
I've forgotten all about that. Oh my goodness.
Good stuff.
Doesn't that look like it took place in about 1991?
I know. And I was thinking at the time that, hey, yeah, I'll just show my studio. It'll be cool behind the scenes stuff. And it really just looks trashy. And there's so much about those days that I can't believe I did it. But we did it. We were pio-freaking-nears.
We were. We absolutely were. And that's the thing. I think there are still people today thinking, I would love to do a show. I would love to get, even go live on camera. But they're still waiting for it to be perfect. They're still waiting for the fancy equipment. But, you've got your fancy equipment right here. You can just do it. And you can make it better as you go along. So
I'm really
do
sorry,
it, everyone. Don't hang around.
I really want to extract the audio where you said you've got your fancy equipment right here. It's just too good how you said it. So the other thing is that, yes, I mean, and that whole making mistakes stuff, I mean, I would have no show without the mistakes. If I had waited, I must have done 24 tests before the first show, and every single time something screwed up. And then it was like, finally, I'm just going to go. And then right out of the gate, it screws up. And it did for like every single show for a really long time. So it was just like, just own it. And so my hope was that it'll help other people understand that, hey, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is live. It's fun.
And this is still relatively new technology. We're only talking 2 or 3 years down the line. So it's still a little bit glitchy. It's still not perfect. Even last month, I did an episode of Big Vision TV and I lost my audio. So my guests couldn't hear me. So I ended up interviewing my guest. They could see their visual. I ended up interviewing them on my phone, because that was the only way that I could hear my guest. And it was so ridiculous. But we did it.
It's
great. Was fine.
That's right. You just get, the ingenuity kicks in. It's great. It's a lot of fun. Okay. And so, but isn't it funny that like Periscope and all those days, because of how time is so compressed and how we're going so fast, that seems like so long ago. Like that technology lab. Oh my God, let's get the spider webs off. But it was just a few years ago.
Yes.
That we were doing all of this. All right, so enough about all that. Now, let's talk about visualization finally 24 minutes into the show, okay? So now, I think I want to, let's just kind of get people up to speed as to how you got to be, I basically positioned you as a visualization savant, which probably is a horrible word and not right for this, but an expert nonetheless. And you've been teaching people this with vision boards and other things for a few years now. So tell the story of your journey to doing that. And like, how did you say, well, I think I probably am good enough at this to start teaching it?
Well, my visualization journey actually predates The Secret. It really does. And it was actually when I was pregnant with my son, who's now 14 and a half. He'll be 15 in January. So we're talking about a good 15 years ago. And I did this thing called the gentle birth method. And what it involved was actually writing out your birth plan, your dream birth, and then visualizing your dream birth. So it was like, okay, I will do this. And I did it for my son. And bear in mind, in the meantime, all the other stories you hear are that childbirth is horrendous. It's really scary. It's really painful. It's really traumatic. And that was the story I was starting to buy into until this book came along. And I did the visualizations, I did the meditations, and I started to visualize this perfect birth. And I did. I had an amazing birth experience, water birth. It was, don't get me wrong, there was some pain involved, but as good as it could be, it was amazing. And then when my daughter came along a couple of years later, adopted exactly the same methods and had another incredible birth experience through, just visualizing your perfect birth. And part of the visualization involved, sorry to bit too much information here, but involved actually going into your womb and stretching it out and making yourself feel like elastic. And
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can do
sorry.
that. A second. I'm having trouble getting into my womb. I'll work on it. All right, continue.
Work on it, Bob, work on it. So that was kind of how it started. And I must admit, then I had a baby and a toddler, and all this law of attraction stuff went out the window. And I often say that if only I'd visualized a baby that slept through the night and ate everything that they were given, life would have been perfect.
Right.
But I forgot to do that.
I love it. That is actually that's a kind of a tenet. Like, you really want to be thorough with your vision and not piecemeal your future into very specific things. Like, what's the overall experience of life and all of that? Anyway, please do go on.
So that's how I started. And then it was probably a good couple of years. I think this was around the time I'd had my spiritual awakening, and I was really interested in alternative things. I started doing yoga. And then I would say it was after I had to go back, I was working in a corporate career in London as well. And I had to go back to work after having my daughter. And at that time, my big vision was, I just want to stay at home and look after my children, but I do want to start a business as well. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I knew it involved something with, the holistic therapies and all this kind of stuff. So I trained to become a reflexologist as well. And I became a Reiki healer. And this was when my daughter was about 2, I think. So in that whole year, in fact, it's actually my 10-year anniversary of having my own business. So it was 10 years ago. And it was also 10 years ago. This all took place in 2009. I read The Secret. Got my copy here.
Visual aid.
And read my copy of The Secret. And that was a year I really started to do the whole visualization thing. So, and in being really intentional about the kind of life I wanted to create. So my big vision was to leave my corporate career. So guess what? I got made redundant, and the universe answered immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is where my first big visualization story kicked in. And I think I'm a Pisces as well, which naturally means that I daydream quite easily. So daydream / visualization, it's all the same thing. And I used to, on the way to work, I drove past the studios where Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was filmed. And I visualized being sat on the show, or on the chair of the show. But I'd also kind of put this cosmic order. I was really into cosmic ordering then as well. That I put this cosmic order to the universe that I wanted £20,000 to come into my life from whatever source. I was open to whatever source the universe had for me. However, the only source I could see back then was going on a game show and winning money. That was the only channel I could see available open to me. So I visualized being on the show. I imagined what it'd be like to be in the studio with the lights on me. And I was climbing my way up the money tree. And anyway, long story short is that I got on the show and I won £20,000. And
Ladies and gentlemen.
I've got photographic proof up here, which, I was...
Oh, check it out.
Some people think I might be lying. So there you go. There's me and Chris Tarrant, who used to be the UK host of the show.
Wow.
And that's me holding my check.
I love how you had it just right there. Okay. So, and this is just the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. But I mean,
just the beginning.
If that was all she did, would you be on board? But there's more. Okay, so that happened to you. So then what was your takeaway from that?
Well, I didn't tell anybody. And it was probably 2 or 3 years before I thought, okay, I actually consciously manifested that experience. I could see the steps, exactly how I did it. I imagined being in the studio. My body believed that it was there. I was in the car driving, but my mind was in the studio. Even my heart was pounding, imagining how nervous I would be on the show. So this was kind of when you kind of go back and dissect it, and I've gone back and dissected this so many times that yes, I absolutely consciously manifested that experience. And then, my big vision manifested. I was now at home. I started my business, and, this was literally it. I was like, okay, now I am earning my own money, and I haven't gone back to work since. So it's like 10 years of me running my own business. And then I started to do these vision board workshops, probably about 2 or 3 years later, where, I was really on board with this whole visualization thing. And I just wanted to teach people, come along, let's create vision boards. Now, I must admit, back then, we're going back about 7 years ago now, I wasn't particularly intentional with my clients when they came around. I said, yeah, let's just get some magazines and we'll cut them out and we'll, Barbados, your mansion, whatever, just stick it on the card and just visualize it and it will come. But my process has refined quite a lot since then, because I know the reason that I manifested Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was because there was a bigger vision behind that. It wasn't I wanted to go in the game show. I wanted that money so I could start my own business, so that I could be at home with my children. Being at home with my kids was my goal. The Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was just a stepping stone to get to that goal. Does that make sense, Bob?
It's great, and I hope everybody heard that, because it's the essence, it's the feeling, that big picture, and people get stuck on the means, right? Like it wasn't. So this, I do want to talk about this, because you did a couple of these things, and of course the key is you had some kind of immense level of detachment, even though you were visualizing it. So I got two questions now. In the visualizing of the game show, for example, how often did you do that?
Every day on my journey to work. I was, and the funny thing was, there was a big supermarket next door to the studio. So I would go and drive there at lunch, and on the side of the studio wall was a giant poster advertising the show. So I just would stare at it and imagine myself being on the show again. But it was all very subconscious. I was rewiring that mental visual pathway. So my body was just like, okay, it's experiencing it over and over and over again, until one day I was literally living the vision. And when I won the amount of money I won, because I had put a request out to the universe for £20,000, that was the amount of money that it felt like not a greedy or unrealistic amount of money to ask for. I wasn't asking for millions on the lottery. It felt that £20,000 was feasible. And yeah, and I think the universe thought, okay, maybe she's right. Maybe this is the quickest path for her to get 20 grand. We can't see another way either. So let's get her on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
This is so key. And I was talking about the science of getting rich before, and you told me that you happen to be leading a study group of this. So the timing of this is crazy. But that, that not knowing how it's going to happen and just letting it go and not being attached, it's all in there. All of this stuff that Melanie is saying, everything that she is saying is what is outlined in the process in this book. Like she was committed to this. And I would imagine now, here's some people deal with this, and this, I don't know if this is a derail or not, but I know that this is going to come up for people as they're listening to you talk about, and they're going to say, oh, well, I did that. I visualized, I did all this stuff, and nothing ever happened, right? So, what I know from a law of attraction point of view is that there's a reason, there's an energetic reason why it's not showing up. A lot of times it's because people are always checking in and saying, it's not here yet, that kind of stuff. Like they're very attached to how, and it looked that way, and then they kick into some old belief system, like they get into a visualization exercise, but then immediately go back to their old ways of thinking. Somehow, you didn't do that. You
No, I think vision. Yeah, sorry. No, I think that because the big vision was I wanted to leave my job and I wanted to be at home with the kids. So the universe did that first step for me by making me redundant. So, and I got a good financial settlement. So that was great. But then the next step was I had nothing to lose, you know, from being on this game show. But there were action steps required. I had to apply to be a contestant. I had to show up for an audition. And I actually travel halfway across the country to go to this audition in the snow, where at each point I could have thought, you know, I'm never going to be on this show. I'm just not going to head up there in this ridiculous weather. But I did. You know, I got the kids looked after and I got myself on the train and got on the show.
Right. You took action, even though your ego was kicking in and giving you your old conversation, you overrode it by taking action. Xavier just posted something and she was talking about, you know, she's wanting to use visualization to lose weight and she's got a picture of the body she wants in the mirror, and then she's saying, but nothing. And this might be an example, because again, as I sort of alluded to before, I got into this world through physique transformation and body stuff, you know. And what I really learned was that the people who got success with that, it had nothing to do with wanting to look better. It was, I mean, that was in there. But it was about a much bigger thing. You want to lose that weight, and then you said, so that I can, right?
Yes.
So you wanted that 20,000, so that you could spend more time with your family. It hits a core value for you, and that's when when your desire really hits a core value, you'll know because you feel it. It doesn't feel yucky. It's not about what's wrong. It's about feeling something that's really, really great. And that's why, you know, we're going to talk about vision boards here, but, you know, the vision board, as you know, it's not magic. It's got to inspire the proper feeling in you. You don't want to have a vision board that makes you depressed because you don't have the thing, right? So it's the whole approach to the vision board. And this is kind of the same thing. And I don't know because I haven't talked to Xavier about this, but if she looks at the picture and feels frustration because she's not there yet, this is not serving her. This is not how to use that kind of thing. You know, it's got to be like what you were saying. It's this ongoing, what's my why? And it's got to be persistent.
I would add to this because I had a weight loss goal as well shortly after having my children. And I think there's a societal belief that, you know, after you have kids, you gain weight. And I think I was allowing that belief to become part of my belief system. And I put on, I don't know, 2 stone, what's that, about 28 pounds, which I just could not shift. And, you know, I'm quite tall, so I could carry it, but I was uncomfortable and I wanted to release this weight. So I actually started to focus on how I wanted to feel, which I think is what it's really all about. A lot of people, when they've released the weight, they're still feeling, oh, actually, I thought I would be happy once I've lost this weight, and I'm still not happy. But, you know, what is the feeling that you are striving after? And for me, it was just like I wanted to feel more vibrant. I wanted to feel healthy. I wanted to feel sexy. And I wanted to feel, you know, as I was kind of approaching my 40th birthday, I thought, oh, do you know what? I want to look and feel better at 40 than I did at 30. And I started to kind of train this mantra into my head. So it was more about feeling a certain way rather than the numbers on a scale. And I never actually, I remember what happened was I've got these scales and the batteries needed replacing, and I never got around to replacing them. I just focused on the feelings I wanted to feel, and I think when you focus on that, you naturally will release the weight. I'd never like to use the term lose weight, because when you lose something, it's like you're looking for it again. So let's just release it instead.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yes, absolutely. Okay, and also Vicky brought something else up, which is kind of, I feel, perhaps related. She says she's trying to visualize the sale of her house. It's taking a long time, so she's trying to look at a picture of my house with sold text across it. I know the universe is bringing it to me. And so my first thing to say, and I would like to know what you would say, is that, again, it's like having sold on the sign is one thing. But what do you get as a result of selling the house? What is the feeling on the other side of this? What is going to afford you in terms of living the life you love and all of that? So instead of focusing on that as being the big win, it's really the feelings on the other side of it. Now, I don't know that Vicky's not doing that. I'm just relating that to the question because I do know that is a common thing that people do. They get stuck on the means, like I want to win the lottery, period. Because some blanket statement, all my problems will be solved. But that is not nearly a specific enough a vibration to bring anything into fruition.
And I would look at the language as well, your that's going on for you with regard to selling your house. Is it kind of words like, oh, you know, no one's coming to view the house, or, you know, I can't sell it? Or is it my perfect buyer is coming to the house now?
Right.
And start to do positive affirmations and just start to we talked about, Wallace Wattles and Science Getting Rich, but I've recently rediscovered Catherine Ponder's work as well. And I think one of her books called Your Word is Your Wand. And it's really to be mindful of the words that you think, the words that you speak. And, even you can do writing affirmations as well. So start to really think powerful thoughts about the house sale as well as the visualization. So words and imaging.
It's what we were saying at the beginning, is that we give ourselves an out for saying negative things to ourselves. It's like we knock ourselves down, and it's, even if it's just a notch, or if it's in passing, and if I was to say, hey, you don't really need to say it. Oh, I don't really mean it, but you're saying it. You're saying it with your words, and that's coming from somewhere, and is indicative of a wiring that I can almost assure you is not in alignment with what you say you're trying to attract. You've got to deal with that stuff. Now, in addition to the visualization stuff, I knew you first, I think, through EFT stuff, right? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah. So the conversation about release and all of this has been part of your conversation for quite a while. When you're working, and I really truly don't know this, when you're working with people in your vision board course, do you integrate EFT and release?
I do. I do. Well, my business is actually called Tapping Into Your Big Vision. And I'm actually working on a process. It's called transformational neural technique, where it is a cross between EFT and visualization, but also, mindset techniques as well, to really help you to so really it's a 3-part process. One, it's, what do you have to let go of first in order for your big vision to come? So this could be people you might need to forgive. It could be, events and traumas and things that happen in your life, limiting beliefs. What limiting beliefs do you need to let go of? Perhaps there's people in your life, toxic people, what do you need to let go of in order to make space for what you truly do want into come to your life? So first, it's a whole letting go, release process. And we do that with tapping and visualization. And then I really encourage my clients then to then make their vision board, or to journal their vision, or to really think about, to get obsessed with your vision. So there's a fine line between getting obsessed and thinking about your vision, and then letting go, that detachment as well. And I know that after Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I was kind of like, yes, I've nailed this. I've got this sorted now. I know how to manifest. But what I didn't realize then, I was suddenly getting really attached to the outcome. And now I've realized that letting go is such an important piece. It's like you've done your work, you've told the universe. And yes, you can spend 5 minutes in the morning and, before you go to sleep at night, envision that future. That's really powerful. But then the last piece is then to stay in alignment with your vision, with tapping, with EFT. So it's making sure you feel good every day as you move towards your vision. So you let go of the frustration, you let go of the doubts, and you let go of the, this is never going to happen. Again, more letting go is required in order for the vision to manifest quicker.
Let's talk about some of that, the whole letting go of the things that don't serve you, and letting go of negative beliefs, because as we all know, boy, that's a lot. That occurs as much easier said than done, and it is because we are wired with them. We're biologically prone to that. So what I keep trying to tell people is stop beating yourself up because it's taking a while. I should have this. I know all this. It's not that easy. Your brain is wired in a way. We have this gift of being able to come in and override that, but it's going to take the same amount of consistency and persistence as you were unconsciously giving it with all the the limited thinking, for that to take place, so that becomes your natural ability. Now, I've always said that, vision boards, they're basically another form of affirmation. Instead of saying, I have this, I am this, you're looking at it and bringing it in. And ever since I learned about EFT, I was like, wow, using a release technique along with affirmations is huge, because every time you start affirmations, and it's going to be outside of your comfort zone, otherwise, because you don't have it, which means the stretch that it's going to take to be in alignment with it will be a little bit uncomfortable. That's just natural. So knowing that is half the battle. But having a tool to deal with that energetic discomfort in the moment can accelerate this whole affirmation thing. Instead of having to affirm for freaking weeks, you could literally have an affirmation session and release all the stuff that keeps coming up when you're doing affirmations with EFT. So it's the same thing with the vision board. If you're looking at your vision board and stuff is coming up for you, then you can just tap while you're looking at it.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a whole other level of tool.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's the thing. When we create the vision boards, usually the day you've created it, you're full of excitement. It's like, yes, I can't wait for this to happen. But yeah, life happens. We have a bad day. I have a bad day. Sometimes I have 2 bad days in a row. But then I realize it's just probably some kind of dialogue that's behind that feeling. And then when I kind of look deeper into what is that dialogue, and it's usually some kind of story that I've made up in my head or some kind of limited thinking, it's just, okay, right, I'm going to think a different thought now. I am not my thoughts. I'm going to, this is where the positive thinking does kick in. And it's just to kind of affirm and release. Now, I also believe that, when you create a vision board or anything that you want to manifest, you've got to believe it's going to happen. Or even one step further, when you get to that state of flow and alignment, when you just know something's going to happen. I know that the things in my big vision are going to happen. And I know that some of the things will take time, because I'm also fully aware that there's still lessons I need to learn along the way. So when I think I've got myself to a level of self-awareness now that I realize that when things go wrong, they're not actually going wrong. I do take it that it's just a lesson I need to learn. It's another stepping stone that's taking me closer to where I want to be.
It's part of the process of the growth. It is in direct response to what you're sending out there. And we can be grateful for every single part of the process if we know that it's taking us where we want to go. And that's the whole thing. The difference between, oh yeah, I believe in this, and knowing it is vast. It's a completely different thing. So that's why, like, repetition of reading these, because you've been programmed for years about limitation, years and years and years and years and years and years and years. Reading a book like Science of Getting Rich or The Secret or any of these things that goes directly against and suggests that it could be easy when we've learned that it could be hard, that there must be something more we have to read into this. No. But knowing, so when you read the book and enough, and do the release work and use the tools like vision boards, which we will get into here in just a second specifically, then the rewiring will begin, and all the stuff that's talked about in the book that is going on all the time, regardless of whether you understand it or not, will now work in your favor, because you are sending a consistent signal. You are impressing the thinking stuff with it's not going all over the place, not going all negative and interpreting things as, oh no, this means the universe doesn't want it for me, which is ludicrous. All of that stuff, it has an energetic impact, and then it shows up in your experience of reality. When you know that, instead of like believing it or thinking it's a cool new agey idea and yeah, everything's energy, dude, when you know that your thoughts are impressing energy and creating form, then you'll snap out of this. And then you'll stop going, oh, I'm going to feel sorry for myself today because I just, I look at this and that and the other thing. You don't have that luxury. So immersing yourself in these great feelings, as much like you just said, feeling good most of the time is really going to be important. And you can do that no matter what anybody says, because all of these feelings, our experience of every moment, is a result of meaning that we give it. It's 100% an inside job. So having a tool like a vision board or several around your place so that you can constantly be reminded of things clearly is going to put you hopefully into a more positive feeling. It's about shifting the energetic balance of spending most of your day worrying about stuff to creating stuff through tools like the vision board. So now you talked about, you've been doing vision boards for a while, you refined your process, and you have this course that this is the link if people want to go check it out. Tell us a little bit about the course, how it works, and sort of what your approach to vision board is in this sort of format.
So I recently did something called Global Vision Board Day, and my vision actually is to become a huge event every single year. And I've chosen, I told you I'm a bit like woo-woo. I've chosen the new moon that's nearest the solstice at the midpoint of the year. So this year, I think it was the 2nd of July, but next year is the 21st of June. So I want it to be an event where, who wants to do a vision board on New Year's Day? That's so boring. Everyone else does it on New Year's Day. But I really believe there's some kind of magic in this midpoint of the year when, January the 1st seems like a long way away ago, and January the 1st next year is still another 6 months away. So I want to get people together in the midpoint through the year. So what I do is we've just had Global Vision Board Day, and I take people through a process. So prior to turning up on Global Vision Board Day, there's this 8-part process, which I talked about earlier, is 8 tapping videos to help people to energetically prepare to make their vision boards. Now, all these videos have been recorded now, and the plan is to update the course every year with the videos that were produced on Global Vision Board Day. So this is still fresh energy from this solstice new moon that we've just had. And so people prepare first. I kind of recommend that you can make any day can be a good day to make a vision board, but new moon's always quite good because this is all about intention setting. Farmers actually used to sow their seeds. I think a lot of them do with agricultural methods. There's lots of stuff around the moon, which some people say, yeah, what a load of nonsense. But, the moon affects the tides of the ocean. So why doesn't it affect us as well? It really does. The moon has a really strong pull on us. So this new full moon is great for release work and letting go, decluttering stuff from the house. But new moon is great for, revisiting your vision, making a vision board. So, why not just do it? Your birthday could be a really good day to make a vision board. So the idea is with this program, you choose your day that you are going to make your vision board. But in the week, in the lead up to it, you are doing the energy preparation. You're starting to uproot some of these old stories. You're going to do some forgiveness work. What do I need to let go of? I encourage you to spend a little bit of time decluttering your house as well. So this is the energy prep work. And then it's allowing your vision to come up to the surface as well. It's allowing yourself to dream bigger, because I think most people don't dream anywhere near big enough. Most people keep their dreams quite small and quite limited. I really, really believe that we all have a big vision inside of us. So there's another tapping video to help you 10x your vision. And then you make your vision board. And then after that, there are tapping videos to help you to stay in alignment with your newly created vision as well. So what it is, it's not a course where there's loads of modules and you're going to, get to module 3 and you're never going to finish the rest. It's designed to be like, right, I'm going to spend 8 days doing this tapping work. Then I'm going to put aside a day in the diary or a good, few hours to do the vision board process. And then you have these tapping videos to tap with for as long after the vision board has been created as you want. And, there's some meditations and there's some tips on how to stay in vibrational alignment with your vision. It's not just making a vision board and then, right, that's it. I'm going to go and eat cake now. It's then
Cake.
As great as cake is.
Yeah, okay, good. As long as you qualified that cake is great, we're good.
Oh, it's great. I love cake.
Yep. Okay.
And then, it's about taking action. Then it's like waking up in the morning. What do I need to do that's going to take me closer towards my goals? And, starting your day with a powerful question. I've got vision boards for nearly every aspect of my life. I'm writing a book at the moment, and I'm at the stage of almost being ready to present the book to publishers and manifesting myself the best publishing deal for my highest good. But I've got a vision board, that's just got my author journey on it. And I'll tell you something really funny that I created. And I got the Amazon top 10 bestsellers list in the self-help genre. And I can't even remember who was at number 1. I erased number 1 with a bit of Photoshop magicry. Magicry, is that a word?
It is
Magic.
Today.
And then I superimposed my book, Tapping Into Your Big Vision, in the number 1 slot in the self-help genre on Amazon books.
I have done, that's part of my story, is that kind of Photoshoppery, if you will, to change things. And it freaking worked. I mean, it really worked. You look at it and you get that good feeling. I mean, you get a whole way, if you can feel it, you're in a good place. Now, I just want to underline a couple of things you said at the beginning, because this whole preparation for the vision board and then the support afterward with the tapping, this is not optional. This is because one of the things that I know that slows people down with this whole law of attraction thing is because when they're creating their vision, boy, they skip so many steps, it's ridiculous. They skip, who am I in this? Who do I want to be? Am I creating from scratch, or am I basing my vision on problems that I'm trying to solve? Am I using this to solve a problem, or am I creating this? There's so many things that people skip. And most of the reason that they skip it is because of tons of resistance. They think too small because they don't feel like they deserve it, or it's too much to ask starting out of the gate, or whatever it is like that. Or they don't feel that they're good enough, or they don't believe it, or any number of resistance items. So if you just dive into the vision board, you're skipping all the energetic groundwork that's going to make the thing effective. And so, and this is something I certainly learned over the years of teaching this, that dealing with this resistance stuff as it comes up, it can it has to happen, and it can be slow and arduous, or it can be a lot quicker with a technique like EFT and some of the other tools that are out there. So to have a structure of like clearing it before you go in there, because I promise you, once you get clear on all this stuff, your vision is going to feel better, it's going to be more inspiring to you, and it's going to be something that you're going to love to check into on a regular basis. But if your vision is based around problems you're solving, I promise you, you're going to have a yucky feeling built into it. You may look pretty in your mind, but there's going to be this energy because you're focused on this will solve my problem, and you are basically telling the universe, I got a problem that needs solving. And that's the constant conversation you're giving. You got to get rid of all of that problem stuff, and this type of thing before, during, and after is critical. And this is someone who got themselves on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So I can't think of anybody else better to learn this stuff from. Is there anything I said that was wrong in there?
Sorry, I missed that last bit.
I said, I already know the answer. Is there anything I said that was wrong in there?
No, that's perfect. Actually, there was a key bit I just want to reiterate.
Great.
One of the things you said was some people don't feel worthy and deserving of having a big vision, or who am I to be dreaming so big? Got a tapping video for that as well. So it is about yes, you are worthy and deserving of having whatever you want. You really are. It's just clearing the old story that tells you that you weren't.
And as you dig into Science of Getting Rich, as you're doing, you understand that deserving isn't even really an issue. Just by virtue of you existing, you deserve it. You're here to live the life you want, because that is what the creative force wants. It wants to experience all the great feelings and things like that. That's you've got your passions and your desire and your vision because the universe wants it for you. You don't have to deserve it. You don't have to deserve it. But because you believe you do, it is a belief that you need to clear out. So it's not even so much about knowing that you deserve it. That's irrelevant. It's truly irrelevant. That is something that man made up about you don't deserve. No, we exist. We have our passions. It's going to work the same for everybody. So
absolutely.
So that's a really freaking key element. So again, to go check this out, it's bobdoyleshow.com/Melanie Moore. And then just basically, where else can people find you and follow your big vision, and like let's get them hooked up to you.
I do quite a lot of tapping videos on Facebook and my YouTube channel. So you can find me at I am Melanie Moore on Facebook and Instagram. If you want to see silly behind the scenes stuff, Instagram stories, you can definitely connect with me there. I love my Instagram stories.
Absolutely. I forgot to mention that. Yes, she's very active on Instagram. It's good stuff. It's fun.
Love the gram.
Love the gram, she says. So one of the things that I was going to bring up earlier, because, I met you were Melanie Bundock, and we had this fun little thing that I wanted you to have your tagline be fun with the bun, right? It's fun with the bun. Did you come up with a replacement? Soar with more? Any of that?
Soar with more is quite good.
Soar with more is, I'm just a machine, a slogan machine. You can use that free of charge if you want to.
Okay, thank you. I will.
Well, thanks. Melanie, thank you so much for being my guest today. It was so great talking to you, and I hope people follow you forever.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm sure we will speak again very soon.
I'm pretty sure we will. Thank you very much, Melanie Moore, ladies and gentlemen. I can't change the picture. Something. Hold on. This is awkward. It's great, but how perfect! How perfect that my keyboard would stop working and I can't change the picture, so I have to do it manually. So I'm going to do that right now. There. All right. So that means that I'm going to hit the theme, and that's not going to work. All right. Perfect. I got a solution. Hold on. It's the Bob Doyle Show. I can't get the dancers either. Hold on. Let me see if I can fake that. I might be able to. No, I can't. It's the Bob Doyle Show, so just imagine dancers. It's the Bob Doyle Show. Don't forget to join us next week, 8 a.m. Pacific time, when we'll have another guest talking about something else. And it's all about making the world a happier place. I don't have a way to go to my final slide, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this whole like freeze frame thing, like it's the end, and then I need you to just close your eyes, and then like that's the end of the show. Okay, so you're just gonna pretend that's the end of the show, and then you'll close your eyes, and then I'll go over here and I'll push a button, but don't look at that, okay? Because I can't hide it. Oh wait, yes I can. We're gonna do it this way.